Hello and welcome to the SciPhi show. Tonight we are going to be doing a live reaction and review. And I say it's going to be a live reaction because other than Dave, none of us have actually watched this video. And Dave described it as a pretty funny video with terrible arguments, but a really likable guy and looks like the love child of ZZ Top. So all in all, it sounds like it's going to be an entertaining night and hopefully you'll stick around with us. And now it's time for the intro. So, hello and welcome to the SciPhi show. I'm Joe.
And I'm Dave.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Vigdis.
And it's good to have you back, Vig. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I had a not really a long day because my work days are pretty short, but working with kids is exhausting after all.
Yes. I mean, I live with two of them and I couldn't handle working with them full time.
I also live with two, but my wife lives with three.
Well, saying that at the moment, I've got my brother-in-law living with us, so yes, I'm living with three too.
I work in a school, so it's between 200 and 90 kids.
Yeah. Man.
What age group?
It depends. It can be between 6 to 11 or 3 to 6.
Yeah, ouch. Hardcore.
Yeah.
And Andy, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah?
Yeah, just getting over a cold from last week.
No, not good.
Oh, same.
Yeah, we've actually had a bit of everything for the last 6 weeks in this house going round and round, including at least one bout of COVID.
A smorgasbord of bacteria.
Yes. Dave, how you doing?
I'm very drunk.
Excellent.
As you should be for this video, I assume.
Yeah. I've seen it, so I know the kind of mood we need to be in.
Are you at the end of your course for the summer now, or is there one more module to go?
No, it's I'm doing all the revising for the exam for next Wednesday. I've got an exam from 10 till 2, and then it's done for the summer.
Nice. Awesome.
And I'll be glad, because, yeah.
Yeah, fair. So I'd just like to say hello to everybody in the audience as well. Hello to Reason to Doubt, Nerdy Rodent, Chris, Shangy Girl, and anyone else that I've missed. Lovely to have you here right at the start. Oh, Lone Wolf. I mean, I've already said hello to a Dave, and all you Daves are basically the same person experiencing themselves subjectively through different entities, aren't you? So, yeah.
Invasion of the Davy Snatchers.
When you've seen one, you've seen them all.
So, as I mentioned earlier, tonight we're going to be doing a video review. So, it's a 5-minute video. So, it could mean that we're here till about 3 a.m. Hopefully, it won't be, though. Dave has seen this, but the rest of us haven't. And I'm looking forward to it, actually. It seems like the sort of thing that we'd like to review. And I just hope that it gives us the laughs that we all need. It's the end of the month. We're all exhausted, as I'm sure you all are. For some people, it's payday. For other people, they're stretching out their last few pennies. And if you're in either of those situations, hopefully you'll enjoy us for the laughter night. I'm going to try playing the video directly through YouTube using their new app thing. So if I just...
Is that its official name?
Well, it's called Watch Together as its official name.
YouTube app thing.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah. So they've installed these games and all sorts like that, and well, it just seemed like maybe it was a better way to do it. Maybe it would run even smoother than running it as a desktop window. So, anyone has any problems, or anyone can't hear it, or anything like that, let me know, and we'll do our best to resolve it. Obviously, this is a sci-fi show, and anytime we try something new, or even we just try doing a stream, we know shit's gonna go wrong. So, yeah, it's all a bit of a gamble.
If you wanted things to work, you wouldn't invite me on.
I think it's still Philip from behind the scenes. He's so busy with uni, but he's using his little magic powers all the same. But anyway, here we go. We'll probably turn it up.
I am so pumped to be talking about today's questions. It is one of my favorite ones, and I'm going to share my secret weapon with you. So hang on to your hats for that, and we'll get into it. But let's look at how to witness to an atheist.
His secret weapon.
And like I said, I'm going to share my secret weapon with you on this from the Bible that I think is really going to change the way you approach atheists. But if you came here looking for help, you're trying to witness to an atheist, I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about it. So, jumping right into this, an atheist is someone that doesn't believe there is a God. That is the definition of an atheist. But let me tell you something.
That is a definition of an atheist.
That you need to understand going into.
At least he's going for the most popular one, which should make plenty of the internet atheists happy.
Yeah, basically just anything or anyone non-theist, basically. I mean, I don't really care about debating it there. It was just pointing out that that's not how everybody defines atheist or atheism, so it should be pointed out. Anyway.
Start a conversation with this, but it's not...
Oh, sorry, Vic.
I was just going to say I hadn't looked at the names of the chapters, and it just gets worse and worse, doesn't it?
What gets worse and worse? Sorry, what was that?
The names of the video's chapters.
I haven't looked at those
What
either.
is an atheist? Why are atheists mad? The secret weapon. Ray Comfort and Andrew Crouch.
Yeah.
Yay, Banana Man.
Yeah, fits into my hand. Fits into my hand is probably more how he actually sounds, though, isn't it?
Well, he did say he had a secret weapon.
And it fits into his hand. Excellent. I hope there isn't a beard-related fallacy. No, Nerdy Rodent. Because, I mean, as we know, beards are awesome. They make you instantly more attractive because they hide most of your face.
That's a lie, because it doesn't
Anyone
work
with a weak chin, get a beard.
Or, even if you've got a good chin, get a beard.
I'm the only one without a beard in that call, so...
I'm just lazy. That's why.
Same.
That is largely why I went with the whole beard thing. I used to do it where I would do a full shave every sort of 3 to 6 months, just because it was too much effort to shave it in. But then I realized that actually I hate my face, so I always leave just enough to cover it up. And anyway, enough about beards. Yes, Nerdy, I'm glad that you have a beard too. You should come and join us on here and show off your magnificent beard. Right.
Knowledge that you need to interpret this well. First of all, as I like to tell people, the A in atheist stands for angry. Here's the thing. No one doesn't believe there's a God. In fact, this is why we don't have...
Hang on, this is the sort of shit I'm talking about. They're talking about atheists being angry all the fucking time. This really pisses me off. This sort of shit.
He's looking for a fight.
It's true, we're angry, always angry. Yeah, A in atheist means angry theist. That's what atheist means. Atheist, angry theist. That's what it means.
I mean, I can understand, especially around where he is. Well, in America, I don't know where specifically he is in America, but I can understand how a lot of the atheists around him seem angry, and also interacting with atheists online. A lot of us atheists can be complete dicks to theists and to each other if we don't follow a certain line, So I can understand how he might have the attitude that atheists are all angry, but also his follow-up line was no one actually doesn't believe in a god.
Yeah.
That might piss a few people off. I mean, to be honest, it's an eye roll moment for me. It's like that's just a load of bullshit, right? I've heard that.
I'm convinced. That's it. Yep, absolutely.
Well, I mean, the thing
I
you have to remember
believe.
about this, the thing about this video is that it's him trying to teach other Christians how to get through to atheists, and this is what he's teaching him.
Yeah, which
He's
is
teaching them.
not right. Not
Like,
right at
just
all.
not. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get through to an atheist, this is exactly what you want to be talking about.
Yeah, just you know what's in our heads better than we do, so you should talk us down because
Yeah.
you know we're angry.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we could actually go into just that bit for ages, but I know what we're like, and we would sit on that for about an hour if we carried on. So let's just let it roll.
I don't think you two have enough alcohol.
Anti-unicorn clubs, because everyone knows leprechauns and unicorns don't exist, and so we don't create whole social clubs and organizations dedicated to letting little girls and little boys know that there's no such thing as unicorns, there's no such thing as leprechauns. This is why Santa Claus doesn't make half the people mad.
Okay, but this is again another bad argument, because there's plenty of people that believe in loads of different gods in the way he's talking about.
Is he suggesting atheism is a club?
Yeah.
I was.
It's
And I'm
not
in charge,
like
so
it's
where's my dues?
descriptive. It's not like a group of people getting together and just not believing in something.
I have
No.
rarely see a group of people as distant from each other ideologically as atheists.
Yeah. I mean, I know there is groups that get together and there's like conferences like the Better Conference and stuff, but most atheists don't actually go to them things and belong to them things.
No.
Is he going to
also-
suggest? Sorry, is he going to suggest that because people are not believing in a god actually makes God exist? He's going to go on to say
Yes.
that, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's going to say that in order for you
Because-
to not believe in something, that thing must have to exist.
It has
first
to exist for you to not believe in it.
So
Yeah.
then
So he's gonna
people
go, because
don't believe
my
in
Bible
leprechauns.
says it. Because my Bible says people are angry at God.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
exists.
So the unicorns and leprechauns that he brought up about 20 seconds ago do exist because people don't believe in them.
Yeah, but people aren't angry at them. And so,
Irish are angry
because
at
people are
leprechauns.
angry.
Yeah, they keep stealing their Lucky Charms.
And hiding all their gold.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
why does
because-
the US Parliament has tiny doors for them too? Because like there's tiny doors in the capital. Why are they here if leprechauns aren't real?
Yeah, exactly.
This is going to be fallacy bingo, isn't it? This video. It's going to be 6 minutes,
It
54
kind of
seconds
is.
of fallacy bingo.
and-
Excellent.
He's also done a follow-up to this video. I've not actually watched that one yet, but he's done a follow-up to
well,
this
if
one.
if we get through this quickly, then maybe it's worth having a look at it. But this is going to be like a listening to Ray Comfort or David Wolf about other topics. You know.
Yeah. I told you it was a funny video
Yeah,
with the guy
yeah.
from CC Top.
Yeah, to be honest, though, I mean, I definitely prefer listening to this guy than someone like Ray Comfort or Ken Ham, because they always come across as like really, really condescending and like, I'm just better than you.
Yeah, he's really chirpy about it all.
Yeah.
Which makes it fun to watch.
Yeah. So I can deal with it. He's got good optics.
Yeah, but funny Aussie accent though.
We just have to deal with it. Is it a real thing, or is he just a comedian? Well, from his channel, I think
Good point.
it's a real thing. But yes, it could be satire. It could be. Hey, Pastor Joe, are you satire? Because we don't know. Because any good Poe is as good as the best fundy that there is. But it seems like,
At
based
some
on his channel,
point,
that it is a real thing. Sorry, Vig, what did you say?
at some point the difference doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It would be the exact same arguments that a fundy would make, I'm sure, or just a very religious theist. He's not necessarily a fundamentalist. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of the video to make that judgment, though he does praise Ray Comfort in it. So, yeah.
We know he doesn't exist. Yeah, sure, he distracts from Jesus, but he doesn't exist. He's not real. And we don't have organizations dedicated to spreading information about how it's not real, writing books about how they're not real, because they're not real, and we all know that. The fact that you're mad at something, the fact that you're
but most people
against
don't know
something
that
is
God isn't
actually
real.
Yeah. And there are plenty of people that know that other gods aren't real. If you believe in the, a Christian version of the Abrahamic deity, you know all the Hindu gods aren't real, right? So does that make them real as well? Christians write books about why their God is real and the other gods aren't real. Using his logic that I don't necessarily say is good, but using his logic, Christians know the Hindu gods are real.
Yeah, also, using his logic, Christians are angry at Muhammad for being a false prophet. So if something is real because you're angry at it, then they're angry because they know he's a real prophet.
I mean, we can go even further. Like, I won't say Santa Claus because it's too obvious, but like alien cults, there are documentaries debunking those. So does that mean aliens are real?
Yeah. The documentaries on not just aliens, but the whole Sasquatch thing and everything like that. You're right.
Yeah, there's definitely transdimensional Sasquatches. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, see, I was supposed to be one, but I ended up being an Ewok instead. So.
Evidence that
is there a height requirement for a Sasquatch?
There is. You've got to be at least 7 feet tall. And I'm about half that. I'm shorter than Ben Shapiro, for fuck's sake.
But Ben Shapiro's only 3 feet tall.
Well, no. He's 170 centimeters.
Yeah, don't believe the media.
Yeah, it's all fake news media. Yeah.
The doors in the Capitol are just for him, actually.
He's the leprechaun, so they do exist.
Yeah.
Hysterical backfire for the whole atheist worldview. They wouldn't be upset about this. They wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't real. So that's a really fun fact.
Yeah, you wouldn't be talking about atheism if it wasn't the truth. You wouldn't be debunking it if it wasn't the true position. Do you see how weak your argument is here? Sorry, let's continue.
Start your day off with the reason they're mad about it. And the reason I say that atheists are mad at God, that they don't believe in him, what they're essentially trying to do is get back at God for not doing things the way they want. Most people, when you talk to them about God and you're like, well, hey, why don't you believe in God? Here's how that
almost
conversation
makes a good point
90%
here.
90% of the time. Well, if God...
Sorry, Dave, did you want to address it now or in a sec?
He almost makes a good point here.
Yeah.
Like in the atheist, he actually almost describes an atheist argument here.
As in this bit coming up. I'll let it play and we'll address it.
God was so good, why bad things happen? So either he's not good or he's not powerful. What they do is they hit you with the problem of evil. Philosophical conundrum for a good while. If God is love, if God is good, if God is powerful, why do bad things happen in the world? There are a lot of answers to that. My favorite being that God is using man's sinfulness to display his glory and love for us in an even brighter way. You can't see light if there's no such thing as darkness. There's an equal and opposite thing for everything. That's one of my favorite answers for the problem.
Yeah, see, and then he screws it up.
Yeah.
Who created evil?
Yeah, God. I am the light, I am the dark. I create the good and the evil. And the Ben Shapiros and the Ray Comforts and the Ken Hams. And the Nazis. I, the Lord, do all these things. I'm paraphrasing and ad-libbing.
That's assuming animals don't exist because I don't think humans are the only ones causing animal suffering. Like What's the point of that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the problem of evil in its most basic form, I understand there are a lot of rebuttals to, but when you throw in things like evolutionary suffering and things like that, although, if he's praising Ray Comfort, maybe he's a creationist, so he rejects evolution, so there is no evolutionary suffering, and that's an easy one for him. But yeah, there's additions to the problem of evil that you go into depth about that make it a better argument. I don't think it's a good argument to have against theists, though, because there are plenty of ways to excuse it. There are. It is compelling to those who are already compelled. It's not compelling to those who have already bought into another paradigm.
Yeah, most theodicies are designed to reinforce what theists or what Christians already believe or what Muslims already believe. But most theodicies won't convince an atheist that this is why God allows suffering. And especially not saying something like you can't have light without dark.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You can't have light without Nikola Tesla.
One thing it allows, though, is a very good optical points, because if you can manage to get this guy to acknowledge that the Holocaust was good because it displays God's glory, people are gonna realize they're freaking crazy sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, his answer would be probably would be something like it allowed humanity to unite to fight evil. But then they were immediately fighting again.
Yes.
Yeah, or it can't get better because we already live in the best possible world. So something like that.
I'll admit.
Yeah. Oh, God. If this is really the best possible world, God clearly isn't all powerful.
Or all wise.
Yeah.
He's a sick fuck, that's what he is.
Stephen Law's Evil God Challenge.
For Beatles.
Sorry, what was that, Big?
With a surprising fondness for Beatles.
Yes.
Yes.
Gotta throw those quotes in there.
Nerdy Rodent said something that we must have said as well. Is that if you're a theist who's angry at atheists, that means gods don't exist. Yeah, using his logic, it just doesn't work. You can throw it right back to him. Time-traveling Loch Ness monsters from space. Now that would be absolutely awesome.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that film.
I'm sure you have, Dave. Lone Wolf says technically there's a club for not believing in fairies and fantasy things. If you assume that skeptics and atheists intermingle, the problem is making that assumption. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you're using skeptic there, but if you're talking about a skeptic and making the assumption that they are one that disbelieves, or maybe even just lacks belief in anything sort of supernatural, then yeah, but I don't know if you'd quite call it a club all the same, it's not like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. God, what a boring club that would be as well. I don't believe in this. Yeah, I don't believe in that either. And I don't believe in this other thing over here. Oh, yeah, I don't believe in that. I mean, shit, what would this club do? Just sit around talking about things that they don't believe in? God.
No, because one person will say, "Oh, I don't believe in that," and someone will say, "Oh, I do believe in that," and then they get in a fight.
Clearly, you're not a real skeptic.
Well, yeah, well, they must exist if you're angry.
Yeah, it's just fights all over.
Whenever I hear skeptic, I think 2016, so I use Zetetic. Zetetic is a real thing. I linked the wiki in YouTube chat.
Nerdy Rodent brings up the the problem of evil thing that we were talking about earlier as well, where God is the creator of all things. If God is meant to be only good yet created evil, either God is evil or God is not only good. Again, like, we can understand why a theist would have a great answer to that one. It is not going to be a compelling answer to me, but it's why, at least in its most basic form, the problem of evil is not a problem for theists, and it is something that atheists might latch onto. And his answer to it was, it started off good, as Dave said, and then he just lost it. He just started making
It was a bit too blasé. You can't have light without dark. You can't have yin without yang. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Just we'll ignore that bit.
Yeah, you have to have yin
because
and yang. Why?
He truly knows where it started. Well, according to his story, where it started and how it meant to be. But why can't you have light without dark? Why not? If you're a god, you can do anything. You can do whatever you want.
Well, here's something about that argument. You can't have good without evil. That means that God must be evil and can't be all good.
Yes. or yeah. Do you know what? I could sit there and split this into so many different paths and go, it could be this, or it could be that, or it could be that. There's really no point in me dissecting how many different paths that could go down, because I imagine that everyone out there who is watching us right now is of the same mind, and anyone who is on the same path as Pastor Joe would probably just ignore everything we were saying anyway. So he does have a glorious beard, though.
He does.
Well, it's more Amish. He looks like Amish in space at the moment.
I think he's a Jehovah's Witness.
Is he now?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So that would mean that he's the sort of person that if his child needed a blood transfusion to survive, he'd let them die.
Or he'd have it and just not tell anybody.
Well, under his beliefs, he ought to let them die. Should we phrase it that way? Yeah. I'm not going to be taking moral lessons from that guy. Hello, Claire. How you doing? Great to see you there. It's been a while.
No, he's not a Jehovah's Witness.
Is he not?
He has a...
Isn't he?
No, he has a video on how to deal with them, so I don't think he's...
Okay. There was a few things he said that made me think he might have been a Jehovah's Witness, and I can't remember what it was, but I was clearly wrong on that.
Yeah, that's fair. And Dave, you're right. We don't have secret handshakes. No, we actually have a ministry of silly walks. And I had a friend tell me a story about how John Cleese was did a session. They were doing English at university, and the whole thing was he was a completely serious professor. He was just like did a really, really, really good. I've forgotten what it's called when you're in the auditorium type thing, but it was a
lecture.
Really, really, really good lecture, and you wouldn't have known that he was anything but, say, like an English professor until he left the room and he did a silly walk out of the room going up the stairs. So yeah. Dave also says a beard like that shows a person has way too much time on their hands and takes too much time and attention. I'm glad you say that, because I'm always jealous of people who have such fantastic beards, and I would love to get to that stage. And I mean, to be honest, I'm at the point right now where I'm starting to get irritated by this being just that little bit too long, because it like tickles into my lips and stuff. But I don't know.
He shaved his moustache off by the looks of it. That's not going to tickle his lips.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it tickles at sort of, yeah. I don't know. I just can't get past a certain point. It gets to a certain length, and then I'm just like, no, I have to reduce it back to 6mm. And it has to be 6mm, maybe 5. If it's any less than that, I feel like I can't go outside for a month. Do we think he takes pride in his beard? Yeah, look at it. It's glorious. Of course he takes pride in his beard. This man...
Wait a minute. Has he shaved the side of his beard? Isn't that like a stonable offence in one of the books of the First Testament?
I don't know, but he looks like he might
Definitely
have
wear mixed
tattoos.
fabrics with that hat and that t-shirt.
Hello, Elias, as well. How are you doing? We're just doing a video review tonight, and we're 2.5 minutes through, and it's taken us half an hour so far. So that's how it's going for us. I hope you're having a good night. So let's carry on.
Problem of evil. We can go into depth into that more, but atheists are angry at God for not doing things the way they want them done. So when you start dealing with an atheist, what I like to do is look at classical apologetics for starters, and then move into presuppositional apologetics. I'm going to talk about what those two things are in just a minute. In fact, the presuppositional is my secret weapon, and I'm excited to tell you about that. Classical apologetics, there's several great arguments to come across this. My favorite argument is the watch in the field argument. And so when I dealt with some atheists, actually on the boardwalk of New Jersey,
the watchmaker's argument.
I used this
It's not
illustration.
quite
I said,
the
if you were going in
watchmaker,
a field,
but
you
it
found
sort
a
of
watch in
is,
that
yeah.
field, how do you think that watch got there? And they both said, somebody must have dropped their watch. And I said, what? You mean you don't think this is a watch field? And if I fertilize it and plow it and water it, that it'll start growing Rolexes and I'll get rich harvesting my watches? And they're like,
okay, we all have knowledge of technological devices, and metal and cogs and things like that do not resemble nature. So even if you had no knowledge whatsoever of any technological device, if you came from a culture that did not have watches, I'm sure you would pick it up and you would say, this is not like things you find in nature. I mean, come on. Come on.
We've also actually seen watchmakers making watches.
I mean, we
know
Yeah.
they exist. Taken my watch to a watchmaker to have it fixed before. You know, these things exist because people are watchmakers.
This is a really confused watchmaker's argument, though.
It is, yeah.
It's a watch lever argument. It's the watch lever argument.
No, it's the watch
clumsy
grower
bastard.
argument.
Yeah.
Because he said you can grow watches.
Well, no, that's what he was ridiculing, wasn't it? He's saying you can't just grow. Can you just grow a watch if I water it and and cultivate it? No, that you can't. That was his point, wasn't it? It's just so like this is his first argument. That's a good one.
It's all downhill from here.
Amazing.
Oh, excellent.
Oh boy.
I might have to sit down for the rest.
By the way, Dave, I think your nurse suppression isn't activated. Like, you keep popping up.
Hang on.
No, I mean the other day.
The other Dave?
Yeah, you. You keep popping up.
Oh yeah, no, I just leave mine on thingy because it doesn't matter. It's fine. I don't need mine on that. I just leave it on open mic. When I've got it on coming through the thing, I've got noise cancellation and stuff like that. So any little clips and things like that would be picked up through Discord won't actually be picked up on the output of the actual stream.
Okay.
I've got noise gates and things like that you cannot put on Discord because you're not allowed to add your own effects. But I must say that speaking of that, I do want RX10. I'm still on RX7, but that's a completely different topic.
That's stupid. And I'm like, exactly. So the fact that there's something that's clearly designed in the middle of a field where we know if you left a barn out in that field for 100 years, it'd just disintegrate into nothing. We know that for a watch to be there, someone dropped
Clearly
a watch.
designed.
We know there's a God because we have intelligently designed things all around us. We know these things don't pop up from nothing. We've never been walking around the road and bam, molecules align to give us a new car. It doesn't work that way.
Not so intelligently
Strawman.
designed arguments that he's making.
Yes. I don't think that. I mean, this is as a video that's supposed to be how to witness to atheists. he's doing an incredibly poor job. He is basically scraping the barrel of the worst arguments theists have. There are much better theistic arguments. If you want to learn how to witness to atheists, listen to nothing he's said so far.
The perfect counterexample.
Yeah,
I mean, he's bringing up stuff that people used to bring up the atheist experience with about 15 years ago. It's exactly the same stuff that Matt Dillahunty and co used to argue against.
Yeah,
He's bringing up stuff that David Hume countered like 200 years ago, and not even doing as good of a job as what David Hume wrote when he was writing the actual theist arguments.
So, must try
I mean,
harder.
yeah, apologetics nowadays is basically rehashing the same arguments over and over, but in ever so slightly more sophisticated ways, so to make it seem like it's new arguments.
At least until you go online onto like Twitter and like Facebook debate groups, and then you realize that they're doing like the dumbed down versions of the ancient arguments. And that goes for atheists as well. Like that goes for atheists as well. Like online, there are terrible, terrible arguments and takes from both theists and atheists. They really, really are. And we all need to do better. All of us. Okay? So this is not like me having a go at your camp. What I'm saying is these are terrible arguments that are probably in response to really terrible arguments. And neither side is going to convince each other because both sides has just terrible arguments. And if you're trying to convince the other side, you got to do better. Whether you're an atheist, theist, or you operate some other position that you want to convince people of. Whatever. I suppose he's using atheist as non-theist, so we should just adopt that usage for the sake of this video.
No, he meant angry.
Oh, yes.
Angry.
Yeah, you got to be angry. Angry non-believer.
This is the thing. Like, each side of the argument can be angry. Each side can have good arguments. Each side can have bad arguments. It's not that atheists can only have good arguments and theists can only have bad arguments.
Exactly. But
if you want to see a perfect example, you can go on any r/debate an atheist or debate a Christian.
Yeah, I mean they're all pretty terrible.
Yeah,
they really are. I've probably had about 2 good conversations on Reddit. It's
the same stuff over and over again, though, isn't it?
It is, and it's very, very. It's basically the worst arguments that you have on Twitter exemplified.
The worst argument on Twitter is, but you can write more than 280 characters.
Yeah. Yeah, people are just that much
really
more
flesh
wrong.
Out that
Well, the only good subreddits are R196 and the real memes anyway.
I mean, I have to admit, I don't really use Reddit at all anymore. I tried to use it as a way to promote our stuff for a bit, and I tried to use it to. I wanted to get involved in the meme channels, but I didn't have enough reputation points to post a meme. So it was like, okay. So
try 96, 196.
196.
It's very leftist. Yeah.
Like get me proper
half of the people posting there are trends already, so and it's not run by tankies anyway, which is good.
Just go in there and post a load of Ben Shapiro memes.
No, just post the rule meme. It's whenever you go on r/196, you have to post something. So there's always a lot of activity there.
Fair. Might be one worth giving a go. Maybe a last huzzah for Reddit before I write it off completely.
I'll send you a link.
Cool. I will check it out after the end of the stream. So, carrying on with this one, though.
way. And so even atheists have to apply their own logic to try to understand these things. And I always challenge the atheists, hey, if you wouldn't use this logic to explain a watch in a field, why would you use this logic to answer away your problem of an eternal destination and God that immediately affects you right here on earth? And they usually just kind of blow that off or whatever, and that's fine. That's their issue. But here's the secret weapon, and here's what I like to point people to. Number one is every atheist deep down actually believes.
Oh, fuck off.
They know they have.
I like how he hasn't actually given the atheist answer to the question he asked.
Yeah.
He just said, well, they write it off, but don't listen to their arguments because they're not good anyway. Trust me, bro. Wink, wink.
They don't know logic. They don't even apply their own logic to how the universe came about, because the universe is just like a watch.
And I mean,
Somehow.
to be fair, being on Twitter and Facebook on that, there's definitely a lot of atheists that don't apply logic at all and think that they know logic. So there is somewhat of a point there, but I think I do try and apply my logic to everything that I believe. So he's made an assumption there, and using his logic, we can instantly turn everything he says, at least up to this point, back on him and show that it's a faulty argument. So maybe if he's going to address other people's logic, he should make sure that his logic is sound first.
And they know they are guilty before God.
Oh, fuck
this
you.
is your secret weapon because the Bible tells us about it in both of these verses. We know that the law of God
doesn't
is
he know
written
how
on the heart
rude
of
that
man.
is in Britain?
Is he saying that atheists know that they're guilty? What? Say that. Play that back again.
So, yeah.
In both
The
of
two
these
things
verses,
that
we know
atheists believe.
It's probably there.
they are
10
guilty
seconds.
before God. And this is your secret weapon because the Bible tells us about it in both of these verses. We
It's
know
not a
that
secret
the
weapon.
law of God is
We
written on
know
the
that
heart
we
of
are
man.
guilty before
We know
God.
that every
Yeah.
man knows that he is destined for an eternity somewhere, and they know that deep down.
See, this
We know it deep down, do we?
yeah. See, do you know what? I actually
He-
hope for it. I actually hope that I'm wrong about a lot of the things I
bloody
believe,
don't.
but I don't believe it. Yeah, in fact, I absolutely believe it to be false. I would love something like, reincarnation or being able to travel the universe as some form of spirit for the rest of my days, or living in paradise, for example. I mean, that sounds great, right? Eternity. That's a bit problematic because wouldn't you get bored? I think the way they dealt with that in The
Crowded
Good
as well.
Place was a really good way of actually, they got to the good place, and once people had achieved everything, they could have sort of the final death where their spirit is spread back into the cosmos. I liked that. But yeah, I don't know. It's the same tired old bad arguments again. You know God. God wrote this stuff on your heart.
This
If
is a
God
Ray
wrote
Comfort
this
argument.
shit on your heart, then why do we stand here and go, God is immoral about XYZ? If God wrote our morals on our hearts, why do we turn around and say the stuff in the Bible is immoral? Because surely we wouldn't be doing that. Because if our morals from God were truly written on our hearts, we wouldn't think that stuff that we saw in the Bible and we see theists do and we see things theists say to be immoral, would we? I mean,
Okay, well, let me get drunk in philosophy for a moment here.
I'm trying to join
Let's take the claim that God has written morals into our hearts as an actual fact.
Okay.
So we can now say, well, we look at the Bible and we see all this immoral stuff. And so this shows us that the Bible wasn't written by God. God has put these morals into our heart to show us the false religions. So when we come across something like the Bible, we know it's a false religion because God has written it in our hearts. And people like Christians and Muslims actually just ignore those things so that they can believe what they want to be true.
Yeah, I mean, it's written on their hearts. They know that they're believing the wrong religion.
Yeah.
Unless they physically cut out their own heart and it's written in it there. Oh,
That's
Yahweh is real. There you go.
I do think that's what this guy actually believes, that we all know what we believe is wrong, but we deny it because of reasons.
Oh yeah. You can just flip it back on them though.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know God isn't real. You know it's in your heart. You know it in your heart.
Watches are a subset of the universe. I love it. Especially because I'm currently writing a series of articles on set theory. And I've released the fundamentals. And I've got one about basically subsets of different types of belief, and then I've got one coming up about gods and atheists as well coming up. So I'm writing lots about in it from a set theory point of view at the moment. And anytime someone brings it up, it's like, oh, I wish I'd finished writing that articles and I could link you to it right now. Yeah. But Greyfade says ascending and joining the ancients would be fun for a few thousand years. Yes. Yeah, definitely. I take it that Greyfade is definitely a Stargate fan. And are you like me, Greyfade, and you just thought Stargate Universe was probably actually the best one, and it was so disappointing that it only got 2 seasons, even though Stargate was amazing, as was Stargate Atlantis. Like, when you got past the fact that it was a little bit different and started enjoying it again, I found it hard switching to Stargate Atlantis at first, but Universe, though, phenomenal. Out there, completely out there. The best one, so disappointing. It left us on a cliffhanger and only did 2 seasons. I wish it would come back. Absolutely wish it would come back. Even though now the actors would be massively aged. I don't care. I just want more of it. But then I still want Firefly to come back too. Sorry, my cat's deciding to jump on my bench. I don't know why. Anyway, I could chat about Stargate for ages, but that's not why we're here tonight. And yeah, okay. Massive Stargate fan, and you cried when Universe was cancelled. Awesome. I think we might be friends. Let's carry on though.
So I actually really prefer a Ray Comfort-based style of evangelism. If you are not familiar with Ray Comfort, the Living Waters YouTube channel is kind of the main place I go to see that. I've watched a bunch of their videos with
That's the problem.
youth groups and stuff to help train kids in evangelism, but Ray Comfort has a great way. He works people down the idea that they can make mistakes and so they shouldn't be the ultimate authority. He works down the ideas of we all stand guilty before God and we need a savior. He's really great at that. But when you are approaching an atheist, here's my thing. Number one, you need to know they actually believe God exists, and that's something you need to keep in your back pocket.
Number one, you've got to know that they, at the very least, don't believe God exists. If not, they genuinely believe no gods exist. And you've got to stop listening to people that tell you that atheists actually believe God exists, because it's an absolute load of bullshit that honestly doesn't do you any favors. And if you really want to witness to atheists, you can't approach them with those arguments. You can't tell them what they believe. Atheists don't even agree
That's why
on
he
the
thinks all
definitions for
atheists are
atheism.
angry.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, if you keep approaching atheists with these style arguments, you will make them angry. You will be met with a ton of angry responses because it's really bad
Why are you
argumentation.
telling me what I believe? Why? I tell you what I believe, and I tell you the reasons why. You tell me what you believe. You tell me your reasons why. Don't tell me what I believe. See, I'm angry now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're atheists. We are always lying about what we believe.
Oh, clearly.
So-
Well, we have no morals.
Obviously. I did 2 years in uni for nothing.
They're mad at God. Look for the hurt. Because when you can find the emotional force that's driving their argument and realize that this is not a logic-based argument, because logically, duh, there's a God. This is an emotionally based argument. That's where you're actually going to...
Logically, duh, there's a God. I'm convinced. That's it.
It's done
That's
it.
it. That's it. I'm changing my life from now.
Yeah, that's
Bible
That's
says it.
got me.
I believe it. That's enough for me.
I mean, clearly all my logic lessons were for now because,
I'm shook
I
to
don't
my
believe
core.
it. I should have gone to him because logically, logic.
I'm kind of siding with what one of the viewers said earlier, that he's a Poe. I think we should just call him Jester Poe. I reckon that's what he is. Jester Poe.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, it does seem that way, doesn't it? Like it's so bad, especially this far down in the internet, where all of this style argumentation has been thoroughly refuted time and time again. For someone to actually think that this style argumentation is still good, how can they not be a Poe? Like, genuinely, how can they not be a Poe? I mean, I can only think of things that are quite negative, and I don't want to say that about anyone. Because I think he genuinely does believe what he's saying. I think he's just perhaps not thought about what he's saying as well as he thinks he has. He's got these beliefs about his beliefs, and his beliefs about his logic, and his beliefs about his arguments that sort of match about his beliefs about his God. They're all false. And
I think where you've gone wrong is you think he's thought about these things.
I think where you've gone wrong is where you assume his head was filled with anything but water.
Well, yeah, exactly. He just goes to the living waters. I mean, that's just it. Yeah, I just take what they say and I repeat it. That's basically what I got from his previous statement about the Ray Comfort stuff. Yeah, I listen to Ray Comfort and I repeat it. Yeah, problem. Like, honestly.
going to minister to the person. And there's a good chance that if you can minister to them and their hurt and their need and their anger, that's actually going to be a better place to start before trying to logically convince them of constructs they're not capable of understanding because they're so emotionally involved in their hurt and their pain. So start by ministering to them there. Maybe you want to use some classical apologetics to frame the argument and make a worldview where they understand logically, scientifically, the best explanation for how we're here is that there was a God, but then move into your secret weapon. Know that deep down, they know they have an eternal destiny.
Oh, logically? Yeah, explain the logic. Explain the logic.
Hang on. He said, so basically he gets them angry and then uses that anger as a way to debate that God exists and that they're angry at God. I'm not going to lie, it's a good kind of way to sort of sway an argument, but it's not it's not ideal.
Yeah, and it would only work on a select few, really.
Well, this is it. It wouldn't work on someone that's like a little bit more knowledgeable about these things, but it's manipulative in the way that the argument works.
So his how to witness to atheists is how to manipulate atheists into being angry and claiming that's because they believe God exists.
Yeah, by saying you believe God exists. You're like, no, I don't. No, yes, you do. You're just angry. No, I'm not.
Have you ever seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yes. Several times.
You know the play the game, play the game, play the game? That's what he kind of reminds me of. He is the pastor version of that, where he's just like, you believe, you believe, you believe, you believe, you believe. Stop it! See, you're angry, so you must be hurt by God.
Yeah, Jared says, do you think this guy has ever successfully converted someone using these tactics? Guys, answer for me.
Like I said in the chat, he's probably prompted some deconversions with the arguments he's making.
Probably the similar ilk of people that Ray Comfort would convince.
Yeah.
Like none at all.
You don't know. I mean, there are some stupid people out there.
These guys are not here to convert anyone, actually. They're just here to reinforce the in-group tendencies. Anyway.
Yeah.
Preach, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the way with a lot of this sort of stuff. And I mean, we can see that there are certain atheists that are the same as well. You know, we can look back at our own side and we can look at certain atheistic channels, and they're not dedicated to promoting reason and logic.
Yeah, they're the flip side of this guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this guy talks about logic, but fails to demonstrate any understanding of logic. And we see that from our camp as well. You know, there are plenty of atheists that talk about logic and they cannot even answer the most basic logic problems. I mean, do you remember that? Sorry, Andy, go on.
I was just going to say they have similar shit arguments like, "Oh, I don't believe things. I know things, or I accept arguments, or morality. Morality is subjective. If you don't believe this stuff, then you know you're not an atheist."
Yeah. Do you remember that guy the other day in Normalizing Atheism, Dave, who basically couldn't even answer what logic was? You know, he kept on having to go about my logic. And then you're trying to go, okay, so what's your understanding? What form of logic are you using? Because this is how it's understood within logic. So tell me how you're understanding it. And he couldn't answer it. He couldn't cite any examples. And then he just started like name dropping like Carl Sagan and Matt Dillahunty and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think he called Matt Dillahunty a philosopher.
I am shocked by the internet. I found a quote I was looking for, and it's been attributed to Nietzsche.
Oh, yeah?
Do you guys want to hear it?
Yeah, go for it.
In this moment, I am euphoric, not because of any funny God's blessing, but because I am enlightened by my intelligence. This was written by a guy on r/atheism like 14 years ago, and it's been attributed to Nietzsche.
I like that.
It might be. I like it.
I actually wonder where that guy is now. Like,
Nerdy, you've got to stop bringing this one up, right? I'm so tired of rock theism. I am so tired of it. And I have to bring it up all the time in articles and things like that because it's where to give an example of why, you know, certain arguments are ridiculous because they lead to rock theism. Because
if you believe that Ozzy if you believe that Ozzy Osbourne is God, are you a rock theist?
Or is it old school metal a metal theist? Metal is atheists? I don't know. All atheists are rocks. Or just do all atheists rock? How you doing, Command Cyborg? Nice to have you here. Logic is rocks. Yeah? I mean, a lot of people and their understanding of logic is basically the same level as most rocks have of logic, so let's go with it.
I feel attacked.
Logic is when you agree with me.
Yes, and that is most people's understanding of logic on the internet, and it is so frustrating.
That's also how most people understand politics on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like we're a tribal species that operates on in-group, out-group bias and emotional arguments before we even get to the point of logic. But, you know.
Destination. Deep down, they know they have violated the laws of God and they need help. And then we just have faith, because the best answer for all of our problems is, in the words of Andre Crouch, Jesus is the answer for the world today.
Oh yeah, there's music now.
For the world today, for the there's no other. Jesus is the way.
know that you do have the answer. The Bible has the answers to their questions. There's no question an atheist can ask you that the Bible cannot answer well. Now, I didn't say that you can't
What am I
answer
going to
well,
have for dinner
but
tomorrow?
the wonderful thing about engaging with atheists,
Does Jesus like
Not
his thumb up
seafood.
his bum?
What's the conversion ratio from light year to parsec? 3 point something. I don't remember.
What is pi?
It's what I usually eat at night.
That's what I was going to say. That's what Dave's having for tea tomorrow.
Yeah, I won't
Just
be
a
opening the
challenge your
Bible
role.
for my open book exam on Wednesday.
No, God, no. How to lose. How to get everything wrong.
3.261 light years.
Which book is the best book in the Discworld series?
More.
No, I haven't read it.
Yes, it is, Dave. You were right.
That's logic, that is, because he agreed with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm very rational.
Yeah, but though, Dave, have we ever had that conversation before? Because I don't know if we have.
No,
No, oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
it's just the best Discworld book.
It is, especially page 62 or 63, where they're in the alleyway.
I haven't read
with
it for a long time.
the what was it? The Thieves Guild. They're trying to rob him, and then he disappears through the world. Well, yeah, that bit. Yeah, that's amazing. I think as well, Kristen would probably agree with us on that book out of all the books from the Discworld series. So, if anyone out there is looking for a book recommendation, they're up for some fantasy and satire combined into amazingness. Mort, the fourth book in the Discworld series. There you go. Now let's see if he's got anything interesting to say in the last 19 seconds of his video.
Send you back to the Bible.
No.
The answers are there, and
No,
with
they're
help,
not.
maybe you need some help, but maybe you find them on your own.
No, you need
your
some
faith
help.
gets strengthened, and you get to learn how to
No,
do
it
it
doesn't.
better. So confidently go witness to atheists, knowing these things. If I've been a help to you at all, please
Don't.
consider supporting my channel by buying me a coffee, jumping up on Patreon, or subscribing and sharing my content with others.
We shall not.
Well, I mean, we did
Oh,
share
we
your
did just-
content
yeah.
with others.
Subscribing to his Patreon. I can't, I'm broke anyway.
Yeah.
I say with like 10 PC fan boxes.
Okay, how do I cancel out of this now? I need it to go away. It's like, look, there it is. There it is. Sorry, this is new to me. There you go. How did the watch together? It went quite well. There you go. Why? It's still there. I don't want it on the screen. How do I get rid of it? Oh, I can't hear you guys
Why
anymore.
did it say I'm hosted? I'm scared. What's going on?
Apparently you've clicked something.
I clicked nothing. I just watched it.
Yeah. Well, it won't go away. It won't go away. Go away, you evil thing. I mean, that was definitely as entertaining as you said it should be, Dave. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Like I say, there is a follow-up, but
I think we should save that for another night.
yeah.
I'm definitely happy with the length of this video. I mean, I know quite often we talk for hours, and which is entertaining for me, and I really enjoy it. But sometimes it's nice to have a bit of a shorter video, and it's he brought up something there at the end where we could buy him a coffee, and I mean, you guys can do that to us as well. You can buy us a coffee. We've got one of those going, and in fact, right, check this out. If you can guess the time that I was born and send it to me in a message on Twitter, the first person to get it right will get a free membership. And if no one gets it right within 7 days, so next Thursday, about this time, I will announce the person that got it closest and give them a membership. Not the day, nothing like that, just the time I was born. There you go.
6:66 p.m.
Damn it! You spot the surprise. So no, I will do that completely honestly. So there you go. Send it to the Answers in Reason Twitter channel and in a direct message, and I'll give you a free membership because why not? Hey. All right. So carrying on with some messages from the chat. 42 is the answer. I can't deny that. Nerdy wrote the point about answers in the Bible. Tell me about the germ theory of disease. Yep, not in there. I suppose someone could try and go talking about eliciting evils from it. Maybe. I mean, you can make some bullshit up. Echo Behemoth says that that's the preacher that says all genocides are made and ordered by God are okay, right? I don't know if he said that. This is the first time I've seen him. Although Vigdis, you mentioned something earlier about genocides. Was that because you'd seen him say this, or was that because you've seen other people that say the same sort of thing as him?
I know I've done it myself. I've had Taste just like straight up say that if the Holocaust happened, it must have had a reason for it, and it says got a purpose. Or you can
Skeptical
check.
theism, yeah.
You can check Secular Outpost's Twitter account for that. He does that quite frequently.
Yeah.
Although Secular Outpost has some really shit political takes. This guy is great on philosophy, but his politics are anyway.
Fair. Lone Wolf says this guy left me on the angry side of dumb. So basically, his tactics started to work on you, Dave. It basically got you to the point where you were becoming the angry atheist, rather than being just who you actually are. Vigdis, apparently you're playing now. Oh.
Amazing.
Carrying on. So Command Cyborg says, close that. I've only read the first one and Witches Abroad, so I couldn't say. Okay, so the first one was all right. It was a good start to the world. Witches Abroad was probably one of the better Witches ones, but to be honest, the Witches ones didn't get good until they introduced the young girl, Tiffany, I think her name was, and the Wee Free Men. I think the books that featured death were the best, and after that, it was probably The Watch. I don't know if you feel the same about them, Dave.
I haven't read all that many of them. To be
Really? Disappointing, Dave. At least you got
That's what my parents say.
Nerdy Rodent says, wow, his entire video was just a nothing burger. Yeah, there were a couple of times he almost made some good points and ruined them by continuing talking.
I did really enjoy the bit where he said, well, God exists, duh.
Duh.
Because logic.
I think that's my
Must.
favourite argument ever. I think.
It's very compelling.
Yeah. I mean, you've converted the four of us here tonight with that one. But yes, thank you very much for the reminder to like and subscribe. We never actually remind people to do that, so cheers, Command Cyborg. Okay, so Echo Behemoth's actually saying that they've seen this person interviewed by others and actually say that he did allude to something similar earlier and say the negatives allow God's glory to come forward or something like that, wasn't it? So if it wasn't for those things, you wouldn't be able to appreciate how absolutely awesome God was. So yeah, the Holocaust was an example of how awesome God is. What? What? No.
It's so awesome that he created an angry Austrian guy that fucking gas 6 million people. Lovely.
His chosen
So
people.
awesome.
Yeah. Honestly. The wee Freeman, no, so they were like miniature Scottish people, basically. They were miniature blue Scottish people. They're amazing and they're fucking hardcore, like even more hardcore than Scottish people are. And Scottish people are pretty hardcore as it goes anyway. But it was like take all the anger of a Scottish person and squeeze it down to that. No, she needs to come back. Bring her back. Yeah. Hello. Who doesn't love a papa? Do any of you guys have any thoughts about that video that we should probably address before? Is there anything we've missed, perhaps, as we were going through laughing so much?
No, not really. I was just going to say, if any theist watches that and actually thinks that's a good way to minister to or witness to atheists, go check out Spartan Theology or John Buck or Dry Apologist. They're much better choices.
Most definitely agree with your recommendations there. So yeah, honestly, theists, that was a bad take. A really bad take. There are much better answers than what was provided there. You can do a lot better. Check out those channels that Dave just said. My favorite of them would probably be John Buck, just because I find him such a warm and likable guy, and he's just like really fun to talk to, and he's a really good guy, right? So
Or Randall Rouser.
but I mean he's next level sort of thing. Like he's a great guy as well, but he's just like the next level out there. Like if you're looking for like normal guys like us, or like the guy that we just watched, I'd say we're all like, the average Joe. You go to Randall Rouser, he's like is like top dollar apologist. And also, if you guys are actually interested on hearing some good arguments from the other side, there are pages like, Real Atheology that will serve you a lot better than going to places like
Me.
or us or Aaron Ra or any of them people. But yeah, there are some top quality theology and atheology YouTubers, and generally they're not the most popular ones because they don't say all the buzzwords and catchphrases and all of that crap. But yeah, spend some time and find something a little bit more rigorous. There are good theist arguments, there are good atheist arguments, and if you're interested in learning more about this topic rather than just being someone that chats cod shit to strangers, spend the time looking this stuff up. That's my main bit of advice anyway. What do I know? I'm just an atheist. So clearly sending you down
Stop being so angry.
See, I'm not actually laughing. Every time that sound comes out of my mouth, that's me screaming in anger.
The A in atheist stands for amused.
I like that. That's much better. Should we actually address, not tonight, but another one of his videos in the future? Would it be that entertaining? Could we?
We could.
I'll say yes because it was hilarious.
It was funny, yeah.
Maybe we'll save it for our next sort of like end of month wind down. We'll try and get back to something a little bit more on the money or rigorous or informative for our other live streams until that point. Anyway, I don't have anything else to add. Do any of you have any projects or videos or articles or anything like that being released that you want to promote before we end tonight?
No.
No? Dave, what about you? I know that you've been busy studying and stuff, so you probably haven't recorded anything, but Have you been able to release anything or got anything on the cards to come out in the next couple of weeks?
I've got a script for another Atheist shout-out video written. I just need to record it, and I'm writing something on divine hiddenness and some of the objections I've seen to it recently.
Oh, nice. I look forward to that. Are they going to be videos, articles, or what?
Videos.
Oh, videos. Cool. Looks great. Oh, look, a personal attack. I see.
It's a Tangelo. He's a fucking idiot.
Jesus showed up. What hiddenness? He even left a selfie. You realize that that's why you get those attacks, right? You make statements
No,
like
he
that.
gets those attacks for what he did to Arden.
He left a selfie. What, in a dog's anus
Yeah.
or a piece of toast?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave. What did you say? He gets attacked because
Because of what he did to Arden of Eden.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, no. It's a trans woman who he started sharing old photos of before the transition and dead naming her and attacking her like that.
So basically, he acted
So
like a total
he's an
wanker.
ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Right.
complete knob, so he deserves all the hate he gets.
So it's not even the usual bad arguments and all of that.
No,
sort of
he's
stuff.
a cock.
Yeah, it's that on top. It's yeah. Well, there you go. You've got your answer of why you've got personal attacks. You happy now?
He's such a cock that even Godless Scummer attacks him. And Godless Scummer is the nicest guy on the planet.
Yeah, Jeff is absolutely lovely to pretty much everyone. Very rarely do I see him get angry. Like genuinely angry as well. Like there's times when he's like, this is something that needs to be sorted out. I'm anger for the sake of this, but genuine anger when he's like raging. Yeah.
Petangelo makes Matt Powell look like a nice guy.
Thank you so much for stopping by, Atangelo. You've
Now fuck off.
absolutely finalized you've been the cherry on the top of this stream. You've basically backed up everything that we've said for the last however many minutes. Oh, hour and a half almost. There you go. So thank you. Well, if there's nothing else, then I will leave it here for tonight. I'd like to thank all the audience for joining in, and I'm glad that you could be here with us. It's been fun getting back into the live streams a little bit more as well recently.
All tens of you.
There's at least 6 people. That's like massive rock concert levels for us.
We have a crowd in the metaverse. No, like
We
the
have more
metaverse-
people than...
yeah.
Well, we have more people than watched Musk.
Ron DeSantis,
Elon Musk.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, at least we made it all the way through the stream.
Yeah.
For the anecdote, the AOC playing Among Us got more viewership than that thing.
Yeah, long story short, no one really ever watches us. But we're fine with that because we have fun having the
And-
conversation.
And as I already said on Twitter, DeSantis has the charisma of a single potato spinning in the microwave.
But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us live, and thank you to everybody who watches the rerun, and obviously thank you to the 3 of you joining me here whilst we watch that hilarious video of how to not talk to atheists.
Yeah, that's what he should have titled it.
Yeah, it was an amazing example of the worst behaviors that anyone could demonstrate. So thank you very much for that, Pastor Joe. One last thing I'll say is, check out some of our recent live streams that we've been doing.
We're usually slightly more intellectual.
Yeah, we've done a couple on like Nazism recently, and whether we were wrong to laugh. They're quite in-depth conversations that will take some time. Tonight was just a bit of fun. So have a good night, all.
I will make sure this all goes downhill from here.